Mine's recording.
All right, cool. So hi, I'm Crazy Comics, and I am joined by
Smithsville.
yes, and we are going to be playing some Timespinner Randomizer. We are doing this through a what is the word I'm looking for, Smith? It's very late. A program, thank you. It's very late. A program called Archipelago, which allows us to basically play a multi-world of this game with each other and send items back and forth between each other. But we'll explain that a little more once we start getting into the actual game. So, yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Want to count down?
All right. Sure, we can count it down.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
So we are playing Timespinner, which is a Metroidvania-style game created in 2018, 2019?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my game crashed. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, my game's not doing too well either. Okay.
It's all good.
There we go. All right.
It was just a small little hiccup.
Wait, do I have Deathlink on?
If you do, I don't, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Okay, I'm going. Well, since you were having trouble, I'm just going into it and seeing. Okay, it is off. It's just like you have Deathlink. What?
Yeah, sometimes it does that. But I'm booting up right now.
Okay, cool.
Everything should be back to normal. There we go.
All right,
Probably because I was sitting on the menu for so long.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep going just because I got a little bit more ground to cover. So, at the beginning of the game, you're always given a starter orb and a starter spell. I got pretty lucky with mine. I got Shattered Orb and Aura Serpent. Also, forgive the... It does that. But yeah, so the two differences between my game and Smith's game is that I start inverted. I start in the past, and Smith's game starts in the present. I also start with an item called the Teleria attachment, which allows me to move a little bit quicker since I have a little more ground to cover. Smith does not have the Teleria attachment at the start. And I've also got the water mask, so I got even more ground to cover.
Yep.
Excellent.
So let's just basically state what the win conditions are of each of our games.
Yeah. So it's basically the same win condition between us both. We have to get the 5 Timespinner pieces, which on my tracker here are the 5 things right beside the Teleria attachment there on my tracker. Ooh, you've also got a lot to do immediately.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll explain a lot here in the opening. But, yeah, so we got to get the 5 Timespinner pieces, as well as quite a few other pieces in order to get to where the Timespinner would be so that we can go to the Ancient Pyramid, beat Nightmare, and beat our games. Yeah. But, throughout that, we're going to be getting some really good items. The water mask that I got allows me to breathe underwater, so I get to move around. And Smith, you're getting some really good stuff. What you got? What you got going on there, bud?
So the first item I found was Twin Pyramid Key, which is basically the fast travel for this game. It allows me to go through different teleporter rooms that I've accessed while going around. The other item is the elevator key, which here in the present means I'm able to go up and down the elevator in a place called Vandegroth Tower. Also notably, the Twin Pyramid Key allows me access to the Ancient Pyramid, so if I do get my time MacGuffins, all 5 of them, I can freely travel to the pyramid and complete my game without really having to do much else.
It's just that simple. I got Security Keycard D. That's not really going to be too helpful right now, but whenever I get present access, we will use that to great effect. That gets us quite a ways into the towers, the fortress. It also gets us 3 checks. But we kind of just jumped right into this, so let's explain a little bit of the plot of this game. So, you play as Linnaeus, who is having a wonderful time in her hometown, And all of a sudden, this empire just rolls up and is like, hey, we're going to take over your town. We're also going to take over the Timespinner. And the Timespinner is essentially a time machine. And so Linnaeus' mother is like, hey, you need to save us. So why don't you go into the future and try to help us with stopping this threat. But when we get there, it's desolated. The Empire's already taken over and everything like that. And so you need to use a mixture of doing some events in the past to change things, as well as doing some things in the present to fix things as well. But essentially, you're going to end up breaking time at some point. So, yeah, it's a pretty simple time travel story, but it's a good Metroidvania, just going between two different versions of the same map. So a lot of what you're seeing of where I'm going through, you'll also see that Smith's going through something a little bit similar, just a little less water.
So notably, my twin pyramid key actually allowed me to go to the Royal Towers in the past, mostly because I don't actually have a form of vertical movement, so I can't actually get over to get to the Vannegroth Tower. I need some form of vertical movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So here's another big distinction between our games. Smith, when he walks into a boss door, like I'm assuming you already fought the cat.
Nope, I can't. I need double jump, or I need a form of vertical movement.
Oh, yeah. Well, his bosses are where they should be. My bosses are not. So I'm going to be fighting these bosses out of order. Like right now, I'm fighting my dad, who is from the past. And I'm probably going to die. I'm going to try hard not to. Yeah.
No way. Oh, okay.
But I died,
Actually,
so.
you can't loot anything here in the tower. So I actually have to leave the tower and basically go to the same thing that you're doing right now.
Yeah. But yeah, I also found my twin pyramid key. So now I'm just going to be warping all over the place. Like you saw earlier, I walked into a room and just walked back out. That room's a fast travel room where you can pretty much warp there as soon as you get the twin pyramid key. So I just kind of went in and said, okay, you're unlocked, and just walked right back out. You got a good ring there.
It's a minus.
Oh,
so I
dang.
can talk about the thing that I have turned on, which is basically it improves or makes worse the different kinds of orbs I'm using. So I started with the blue orb and I started with corruption. Corruption's pretty cool. It gets more charges based on the number of enemies that I kill. However, it's currently a minus, so it actually does less damage. The math is interesting, how it all works, but basically I don't like the minus ones. They're not very fun.
Minus ones are bad, plus ones are good. Ooh,
Yeah.
Empire Crown.
So the star that I got was actually a minus, and all that does is just give me a third orb to throw out when my other two orbs are expended.
Okay. Could you also talk about the weapons that we have in the game, or the items that we will probably see most often being like the orbs, the spells, and the rings, like what they each do and everything like that?
So essentially, your basic damage type weapon is orbs. There's a couple different ones. They're usually just called melee orbs, and they allow you to hit the attack button, do a thing. Like my orbs, they just go out in front of me. They're the basic orbs you start with at the beginning of the game, vanilla-wise.
You got the
I
vanilla
just got
start.
Radiant Orb.
Really vanilla start.
I got Radiant Orb Plus, which is actually phenomenal.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's really strong. The other thing, too, is that there's a village you go to, the Survivor's Village, in the past. There's a guy there's a person there who will actively get you other orbs, as well as get you the special powers to use what are they called? The spells?
Yeah.
And then they can also make you rings, based on whatever orb you're using. Because each orb by itself doesn't get you the spell or the ring, but you're basically synthesizing to get the ring and the spell. There's a bunch of different rings you get in the main story. They all are pretty handy.
Yeah. So, my ooh, Empress robe. Don't mind if I do. Yeah. So my twin pyramid key took me pretty much to the start of where Smith started. So you'll be seeing some very similar stuff. Just I will be going a little bit quicker through these areas with the Teleria attachment. But yeah. So I can also talk a little bit about Archipelago and what we're using to actually make this happen. So Archipelago is a service where it allows you to connect multiple different games. They don't even have to be the same game together in a multi-world capacity. So right now, they offer quite a few different games, Timespinner being one of them. You can also do... Timespinner spindle. You can also do... Kingdom Hearts 2 is coming out pretty soon, so you'll be able to do multi-worlds with KH2 Randomizer. You can also do it with Factorio, with VVVVVV, Rogue Legacy, and like a bunch of different games that you can just mash together, and it'll just work. So it's a really cool service.
13 games that are supported.
Yeah, 13. You know, in Kingdom
13
Hearts 2,
games.
you know, in Kingdom Hearts 2, 13 is a very lucky number.
It's an important number.
It's a very important number. But yeah, so right now I'm kind of going through the past just to kill some low-level enemies, try and get myself some level ups before going back and trying to beat my dad again. So, anyway, how you doing, Smith? Where are you at this moment?
I'm walking out of the castle, going to the ramparts. Pretty much, we're probably both doing around the same thing. Why am I using my I'm using my analog stick when I don't usually use that. So right now I'm just trying to find some sort of double movement. Either a jump, the Teleria attachment, Celestial Sash, any of those are different forms of double jump or vertical movement, and they're all quite handy to have.
Yeah, so my cat turned into a giant eyeball. This thing was already weak to begin with, but replacing it with the cat just makes it a little more weak. So the way that boss rando works is it replaces the boss arena, but it gives the boss that's placed there the same stats as the boss it's replaced. So the cat really doesn't have a ton of health or anything like that. So that thing hit for nothing. It took barely anything to take it down. So it's yeah, so it's fun. It gives a good challenge, but it also shows like how easy some bosses really can be if you have the right orbs or just take away its stats. So I'm sending you quite a few rings and quite a few equipment items.
The equipment's always good. Just makes survivability better.
Mm-hmm. Aside from leveling up, equipment's kind of your way to boost your stats right now. So right now I've got Empire Crown, which is pretty good in terms of stat boost. I got Lab Coat. Synthetic Plume I just threw on there because why not?
Don't think I can... Yeah, no, I can't risky jump up there. Unfortunate. There's an item I have to leave behind. Oh, there's an item.
There's quite a few items I've had to leave behind because I don't have a double jump. So, yeah, right now, early game, what you would kind of be looking for, at least in my case, is you want a double jump. Or some kind of vertical movement. And right now, we're not really finding it. So we've had to orphan some checks and leave them behind. Smith, you're kind of wanting that Teleria attachment as well as that vertical movement, right?
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a nice one.
I already had Infernal Flames, so it's not really necessary.
Oh.
But it'll still let me open up the vines in the... God, that would be terrible if it wants me to open up the vines in the past to get through the present to get some of my items.
Welcome to this game.
Technically, I won't need double jump or time stop if I burn down the routes. Which, that's the cool thing about the randomizer, is that you can kind of do things in a weird sequence that you wouldn't normally do in the main story. So it lets you get to certain places a lot faster.
Yeah. Also, to kind of explain the pyro orb, it just pretty much sets your orbs on fire and just allows you to hit things with a fire capacity, which just deals damage over time, which is really good. But I found Celine's bangle, which is one of the best equipment items in the game. Essentially allows you to gain more experience faster. So I'm going to be leveling up more, getting stronger and everything like that. So yeah, when we go back to fight our dad, it's going to be nothing. It's going to be a good time.
I'm getting tons of rings.
A lot of rings. You'll also notice that I stopped at the shop there. When we get Twin Pyramid Key, it unlocks an item in the store called Warp Shards. And that will take you back to the last fast travel point you used. So, me going through this area here, I'm going to get up to the top and pretty much not be able to do anything and have to make a long trek back. But with the Warp Shard, I can just hit that and we go right back to our fast travel point and just can keep moving on. Yeah, but I think GDQ's really going to like this game, just because I know their fascinations with orbs is undefeated in terms of how much they love it. So, yeah.
It says I left the game.
That's you crazy. Left the game, yeah. I'm going to pause here a second. Something else cool about the randomizer, if you hit a button while you're on the map, it can reveal where you haven't checked. So since there's no blinking yellow buttons like in here, that means I've gotten everything in this area, so I don't have to check back here. I'm not going to be using it the entire time to check, but it's good just to double check and make sure, hey, did I get everything here? Yeah. So, are you good?
Yeah, reconnecting just needs me to go to a save point, exit game, and start up again.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't have to like reconnect to anything because again, this game is really cool because it automatically connects, which is the thing with Archipelago. Mm-hmm. It's cool when it works, and it works a lot. It's very like they worked on it quite a bit.
Yeah. When we're doing this run, we'll make sure to have a mod from the Archipelago community to explain kind of the technical ins and outs of everything, just to kind of give everybody who's more technologically savvy than I be able to talk shop and be like, yeah, we do this science thing and we pour things into beakers and somehow it works.
A lot of the programming stuff goes over my head.
Yeah, anytime there's a new update or something, I need to talk with someone I need to talk with IT, make sure I'm not screwing up my game and not be able to play it ever again.
Fortunately, Archipelago setup's very easy.
It is very easy. And the cool thing with this game is if you notice at the bottom, you'll see little lines pop up being like, hey, you just got blah, 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 and everything like that. Most games are not like that. Like, the client is not fully incorporated into the game. But, yeah, Timespinner is different. Because I think the actual devs of this game like really support the Archipelago and like have helped to kind of integrate it into their game. So it's cool things. So shout outs to the devs.
3 worthless chests.
Yeah. Good thing I have a lot more health items in this fight, so I don't have to feel like I'm immediately going to die in this fight. And we beat him. Cool. The weird thing is, this only gets us 2 more checks. So, also, you're going to be hearing a weird noise on my screen. It's because when you fight him in the normal game, you end up breaking time, and so time just kind of dissolves away and everything like that. But in this, since you beat him in a different arena, it just makes the sound like it doesn't actually do anything for the game itself. It just initiates that soundbite. It must be attached to the room, I'm guessing. But anyway, let's start going over to the towers. Ooh, arm cannon. We love arm cannon. We don't love old coat, though.
So that does it for me and my checks in my game.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Well, actually, never mind. So now my whole game is kind of open to me. However, I would like to do more things in my past or in the present time. So I'm going to actually go back to the present time. And I'm just going to continue more stuff there.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, like, that was a very early check I could have gotten if I just went the other way. Because I had two choices there right at the beginning. Either, A, go to the left and get a ton of items, especially with that water mask. Or B, go to the right, get a few more checks, probably have to orphan a lot of them, but go and get a few checks over there. And I just made a decision.
Yep, it's the same randomizer logic of, do I need to go do that now, or can I do it later?
Well, and the good thing is now I'm in the caverns, and there's some checks here below the water that you can't get without water mask. So getting water mask early allows me to just knock out these checks on the first time through, and I don't have to come back for them. So that's really cool.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm going to do all my checks here, past the Azure Queen. I'm going to get the teleport at the end, and I'm going to burn all of the things on my way.
Gotcha.
Just so I can get more checks in the past.
That sounds cool. Yeah, I'm still without a method of double jumping, but I did get my security keycard B, which is pretty much the only other one that I need for true progression in the present. So that's fun.
Now the immortal question, is Cantorin on?
Oh, the Cantorin's on for me, which is why I didn't go back for it.
Oh, tablet. Okay, so I just got the tablet, which is going to be really cool when I go back to the present. It's going to allow me to pick up these little computer screeny thingies to get more checks.
Yeah.
And Timespinner is kind of classified in the archipelago as a shorter game, as it can be finished a lot faster than most other games. You can kind of think of there's gas mask. There's
nice.
Short, medium, and long games. Sometimes they play well together. Sometimes it sends you into a wait mode, which is never fun. And then sometimes you just have 2 long games that are just going at it for a while, and it becomes who gets certain items at what point, and they can be fun. So getting a perfect balance is always the enjoyable thing.
Yeah, the fun thing about Archipelago is whenever I personally play, I always end up in BK mode so quickly in the games, and I end up waiting for 30, 45 minutes until someone gives me the one thing that opens up all my other checks. Which, that's the term for the wait mode that Smith just mentioned. So, BK mode has a fun story. So, back when Link to the Past Multiworld was originally getting started, a bunch of guys were playing the game and having some fun, and then one guy got put into BK mode, and it was like the first time, and it was a really long time, and so he ended up just going to Burger King and getting food and then coming back, hey, my light wall, and yeah, so it's forever been known as BK mode. I can't remember the guy's name for the life of me. I will definitely need to look that up.
Alright, so I'm going to be fighting the Azure Queen here in the past, which is a giant bird.
Bird is the word. What else do I want? I'll put on Crimson Vortex. Why not? Put on some icicle rings. So
swap to arm cannon.
So my setups here. I've got icicle rings on everything. It just shoots out an icicle and does a little bit more damage. Not a ton to be dangerous, but enough to possibly land a killing blow if I needed one more hit on him. But I also put on Crimson Vortex, which is associated with the Blood Orb. So pretty much any living creature will be affected by Crimson Vortex. and then I put on light wall. And in this game, there's 3 methods of vertical movement. There's the succubus hairpin, which is just a double jump for you. And then there's light wall, which I'll demonstrate right now. Just creates a wall, and you can fully climb it. You can use that to ascend. It's very slow, and it uses your aura, which is the blue bar below the health bar up in the top left corner. And then there's the celestial sash, which is the goat of vertical movement in this game, since it just sends you straight up. Like, you hold a button and just boom, you're going straight up.
It is the most vertical movement.
It is vertical movement incarnate. It is quite a wonderful item. So when we find that, we will probably pop off. Yeah, something else that makes this game one of the faster games with the archipelago is when you open these chests or get these items and everything like that, there's no real animation to opening the chests or anything like that. You just hold the up button while you're dashing past it, and it's open. Like, you get the item. Like, you don't have to sit there and wait for some animation. You don't have to wait for some Hyrulean fanfare in order to say, oh, you got a green rupee. No, it's you open the chest and you're already out the door by the time you get the item. Ooh. That was a good room.
I mean, it's just healing items.
No, I got Royal Ring. I got Royal Ring
Oh, okay.
and Infernal Flames, which is my fire source.
Oh, good.
You already burned the vines, didn't you?
Yeah, I already burned them.
Okay. So there's a little timey-wimey stuff for you. You burn the vines in the past. When you go back in the present, you will have no vines there. Like, those blocked paths that were there are no longer blocked. Because the vines didn't have time to fossilize, because that's what vines do. But either way. And then the Royal Ring is one of 3 items that can unlock a door coming up, which I'll point out, which has a very fun name for the chest that's in there. It's a little joke in the community.
I mean, it's a joke in a lot of communities. It's actually just a phrase.
It's just a phrase. It's not exclusive to this game. It's just a phrase. But yeah, I will be coming up to it here soon. I got to battle a boss before then, though, and use.
What would be the twins?
Would be, yeah, the twins and the goat head. I'm not exactly sure what the name of that boss is.
I don't know. Most of the time, it's just the twins. So
yeah. So
I don't know what.
it's the twins, but they got a friend behind them. But this time it's the last boss of the game.
Nightmare.
So this is Nightmare. Golden Idol. That's what it is. So yeah, Nightmare is normally pretty scary. But if you have Light Wall, Radiant Orb, something like that, he is really, really weak to radiant damage. So yeah, I just threw up some Light Walls there and he's dead. So now you might ask, does that mean you beat the game because you beat the final boss? No. I gotta beat whatever is in the final boss arena in order to beat this game.
Pray it's not cat.
I hope it's not the cat, because the cat's not really weak to anything. And it just is pretty much a sponge at that point, and it's just annoying. Like, I think I had it as the final boss one time, and it took me like 2 minutes to kill it. Just because that's how the cat be sometimes. So anyway, I'm coming up on the room here. I gotta switch to the Royal Ring. Royal Ring's also good in its own right. It recharges your stuff quicker. But that chest is called the Yas Queen chest because that room is where the queen of this kingdom lives. So we affectionately call it Yas Queen. Oh god, that wasn't good. I'm not going to make it up that way.
Gee, I'm now noticing how dreadful it is not having the Teleria attachment.
Yeah. Honestly, we can have it on for you. It just means you might get put into BK mode earlier, and plus there's only 2 of us, so...
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. It just gives me a vertical lift for the present, but I mean, I like walking around. It's not half bad. So this is the actual cat.
Yeah. Battling the actual cat with its actual low HP value. Also, I would like another orb at some point, because I'm still just rocking the Shattered Orb.
I don't know. Radiant's carrying me quite a bit.
Alright. Yeah, so now I'm in the Queen's Quarters. You're going to see how slow it is to use Light Wall everywhere. Because, yeah, it takes a while to generate the actual Light Wall. And then jump up to it, generate another one, and you just have basic vertical movement. And they fade after a certain amount of time. I forget exactly how much time. Probably like
10 seconds.
10? Yeah. That's what I was thinking. But yeah, so kind of got to use them quick. So I generated that one at the top of my jump, so I wasn't able to grab onto it. So that's a little bit of lost time, I guess, if you want to call it that. So right now we're not really going for time on this one. This one's just... We're just playing cooperatively. This isn't a race or anything like that. Just, yeah, both of us are finding checks, helping each other out, and... Right.
So now we get to see the tablet in action here for the first check.
Don't tell him I've already used the tablet.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah. Basically, the tablet checks are just some extra checks that you can turn on through the game. I wish they sold some ethers, because I really would like some more magic. So these guys are inflicting chaos on me, as you can tell by the chaos word above my head. Chaos would prevent me from using my time stop abilities, which you get from the Timespinner wheel. So I really don't have that yet, so chaos being inflicted on me does nothing. You don't have to worry about that one. But yeah, so we got a slow climb up the tower here. Storm Eye. Yeah. That's a precursor to the worst orb in the game.
Wind Orb Plus actually pretty based.
Really?
Yeah, I like it.
You got a turbo controller?
No, I just mash really fast.
Okay. Yeah, so for those who like, let's say daggers, I guess, in most games, low damage per second but high hit rate, the Wind Orb is for you. It's really not for me because I value my thumbs and I don't want to. Oh, I was like, why can I not use this ether? Oh, you sent me an aura up. But yeah, so yeah, Wind Orb's good if you like high DPS stuff or low DPS, high hit rate. Assuming the cat fight went well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the cat fight went fine. Like again, I just stood on top of a light wall and kept attacking it. But like, there's an orb for everyone. You'll find one you like the most.
Yeah.
My favorite orb is the Empire Orb, but my second favorite is probably the Hammer Orb or Iron Orb.
Gotcha. My favorite's the Eye Orb. I absolutely love the Eye Orb. Yeah, I love the Eye Orb. Empire Orb is pretty base because it's the highest damaging orb just on its own. And so, yeah, a lot of people will use it late game. But honestly, Shattered Orb's really good too because it just... it has its normal base damage and then it just applies extra damage based on the shards. So, it's It's a pretty good orb to start out with, and I'm not going to complain that I haven't gotten any other orbs, but...
the bombardment spell's also really good.
Oh, yeah. Bombardment's really good. Alright, so this is a late game boss. Transforms into our mom. And he's a little annoying. He's weak. He's actually strong against the Shatter Orb, so he's not going to take as much damage. You can tell if something is weak to it. You can tell if an enemy is weak to an orb or is strong against an orb by the color of the numbers coming off of it. So if you notice, most of the things we've been hitting have a white number above them. That means that it's neutral. It's just going to do normal base damage. If something is strong against it, you'll see gray numbers come out. And then if something is weak against it, it'll be red. So.
Oh, Forbidden Tome. Are you plus? It's oh, okay. It's Forbidden Tome plus, which means my Jin Orb is going to also be plus.
Heck yeah. So this fight is taking forever. Okay, now we're finally into phase 2. My god.
Boss. Oh, Zarian?
The scientist.
Oh, that's right. You're fighting Gil.
Yeah, he is taking forever.
Yeah, he takes a while.
He, she, it's literally fluid. So yeah. Alright, there we go. Finally beat it.
Alright, so I'm going to go fight Vandergroth.
Ooh, Eternal Coat. I think that is the best, like, body equipment in the game.
It's pretty good.
Oh, shit. Hoot. Yeah. So, I didn't want to place that light wall so far up, mainly because it would trigger the...
Oh, he's dead.
It would, yeah, trigger the scene transition and just wipe away everything that I've put into it. So yeah, we're done with the towers. So we're going to use a warp shard here. And go back. We'll go back here. Pick up an item that we missed because we didn't have a double jump or some kind of vertical movement. I'm going to go ahead and kill these guys so that way they don't annoy me. Yeah. How's it looking on your side? I'm taking it you did everything in the present.
Just about everything I can do.
Okay.
I'm almost done in the Vandergroth Tower, and then I'll go back to the past.
Gotcha.
It's just a slow crawl.
Yeah. Alright, so I could go fight... I'm gonna go fight whatever Cantorian became. Because I think... Yeah, I think I'm good for everything else. So, the cool thing about this game is that you can pretty much... You can pretty much do the past in 2 loops. Cantorian is Maw. Maw is very weak to light wall, so... We'll just throw up some light walls and just have him die pretty quickly.
No, Maw's the hardest boss in the game.
Maw's the hardest boss? Oh my god. He's dead.
He's like the hardest boss in the game. It's crazy.
It's crazy. I got some really good luck, some really good RNG there. Honestly, best Maw I could have asked for. I manipulated the RNG. I've actually been planning for that fight the entire time that I've been playing this game.
As you should. It's a hard fight.
Yeah, it's so hard, man. Where are my Infernal Flames? There they are. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and burn down these vines.
Gilded Egg already sold stuff for money. Hey, it's my Timespinner gear too. I have 2 of my 5 MacGuffins.
Yeah, I also have 2 of my 5 MacGuffins. I got 1 Timespinner spindle and 1 gear. Did I go down and get that item? No, I'm an idiot. Let me actually go and get that item. It's probably important.
I missed an item on the left side of the tower.
Yeah. I had to go back and get some items, and I missed the one that was top of pond. You go down, there's a room to the left and the right. I missed the one in the top of the room to the left.
It was an easily missable one.
Yeah. Oh, economizer ring. Man. Yep. Had to go back for that.
Light wall.
Yeah.
Especially if I don't get the celestial sash and I have to use light wall all the way up the tall climb.
We're in this together, bud.
So I have the elevator key. I can get the one check there. However, I'm going to use the executive option to not check it and go to the past.
Okay.
As I'm done here in the present, and it's actually much more efficient to do later when I have the water mask.
Right.
So I will use a warp shard because I bought 9 of them.
There we go.
Alright,
Both
back
bought some
to
warp shards.
The past. I don't have water mask. Myself. Actually, I can go back to the tower.
Sounds like a plan. I'm gonna go down and do. I'm gonna do the catacombs, do Maw and all that, and then work my way back up. Yeah, so this could get a little annoying, because these mushroom enemies here that I'll be coming back up to. Yeah, these guys drop spores, and those spores poison you. If you have the pendulum item, it pretty much negates poison, so you don't have to worry about being poisoned by it. However, with no pendulum,
that's my water mask.
I have to be very careful.
This game.
Where'd you get your water mask?
The back jump.
The jump.
You know that there's a bat, like there's a little memory and chest.
Yeah.
In a corner. Yeah, it's just called the bat jump.
Gotcha.
All right, well, I'm gonna go do my tower because I have far too much stuff to do.
Yep. Welcome to Randomizers.
Actually, I have basically my entire past to do, which is killing all 3 of my bosses. I haven't explained that. In the present, there is the laboratory you need to get to, and in order to actually get in there, you have to defeat what are the 3 defenses of the castle in the past, which is the twins, Queen Aelana herself, and Ma. You've seen one of those bosses in Comics' world.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And pretty much
you've seen the rooms. You haven't seen the bosses. Well, you've seen the rooms, but you've seen one of the bosses. Yeah. Also, I'm going to go ahead and take off Worm Brooch because I hate what it does to my F, because my F's such a good boy.
I don't know. I don't really use the familiars very much. My F is useful for, like, the firing the vines.
Yeah, that's an Omega Brain level strat to use my F's fire to burn the vines. But the game doesn't consider it in logic, so I technically don't. But that's something we can explain. So logic in Randomizer Multiworld is basically you need the thing to get the thing. That's never going to happen. Like, you're never going to need water mask in order to get the water mask. You could have the Twin Pyramid key get you down there, and then get the water mask. But if it's a chest in the water, you're not going to have the water mask in that chest. Just imagine it as a big old chain, but a chain made out of those clips that you put on your backpack when you were a kid. And they're all in a nice, neat chain. But as soon as you break that logic and you go out of logic and get something that you're not supposed to get before you... If you get something before you're supposed to get it, then that pretty much makes the chains come together and it just starts to become a blob where you have no idea when you are supposed to get this item or anything like that. I'm actually going to buy some of those backpack clips now, so that way we can actually visualize how logic works. So I think that'd be fun. Ooh, Timespinner gear. Ooh, Traveler's Club. But yeah, so as you can see, we've got some dead time in this where there's kind of talked about everything we really need to talk about, so plenty of time for donations and what have you, if we were to be in. So, all right. So here's the golden idol, which replaced Maw. So I think they actually replaced each other. No, Maw replaced Cantorian. So actually, I have the perfect setup for this because the golden idol is weak to light wall as well as shattered orb. So I killed it before it even got the saw blade out. I think that's kind of incredible. I rarely ever do that. That could be that's never happened before.
I mean, I'm gonna go fight the golden idol right now.
Hey, there you go.
He's probably gonna die incredibly fast too.
Yeah. That's something else with with our recordings. I will try to put it into one video. I'm not great with video editing or anything like that, but I'll try and put our gameplay into one full video, so that way I don't have to send two links to, or actually, I could do that. So yeah, to explain to Smith, what I had to do today was they asked for a link to your video and everything like that, and so I put a link in there. But they also have a description to describe like what the game is or what you're going to be doing, or is there anything about the game that you'd like people to know and everything like that. So what I might do is be like, here's the link to my side of everything, and then in the description be like, okay, here's my partner's side of the video, so that way they can see what we're both doing.
This is quite the predicament.
Mm-hmm. What's happening?
Oh no, it's like trying to light wall this location is a pain in the butt.
Gotcha. But okay, so my past is completely done. So I'm gonna go to the present, and it's pretty much be what you're gonna be seeing for the rest of the seed. Is this dreary future? You'll also notice that in this video or on screen, there's like this kind of yellowish fog that you can see all over everything. So if you went out of logic and killed Maw before you had the gas mask, which you can do, you just need to have health recovery items and be able to kill him quick enough. Also depends on what boss replaced him. But if you kill him before you get the gas mask, it makes this area uninhabitable. So you will need the gas mask here in order to not be dying of no oxygen. So, little fun tidbit for you.
That's my 9th librarian hat.
Ooh. What I hear is another thing to sell.
Probably. I mean, I have more than enough money for the rest of the seed thanks to the gilded egg. So.
Oh my god! I finally got another orb. Umbra orb.
That's my other favorite orb.
Yeah. Umbra orb isn't anything too special, but it is fun. It's basically the normal orb for the game, so the blue orb, but with like a darker, what am I trying to say? But with a darker.
It has a darker tint to it, and when you kill an enemy, it drops a little circle. Oh no, that's Nether Orb that does that.
No, that's another orb. Yeah. Just creates a rift.
Dark blue orb.
Yeah, it's a dark blue orb. It does dark damage. I just got Library Keycard V, which unlocks 3 more checks, so we're going to go ahead and Look at that.
I'm going to buy more warp shards. And I'm going to sell my ill-gotten gilded egg for 300,000.
There we go.
This economy is not sustainable.
Making a mint. Also, because I didn't do this before, I'm going to jump over this last chauffeur helicopter. Because, yeah, you could just dash through there and just never get hit. Do I have elevator keycard? I do not. So, I really can't do anything there. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unlock this teleport room. I'm going to go back, go through all of these towers and everything like that, and then use a warp shard and warp to there, so that way I can go to the endgame area. And something you'll quickly notice when we go to the endgame area is the scale of the enemies jumps exponentially. Like, they are way stronger than anything you've fought in the entire game. It's insane. Like, the first time I played this, I'm like, yeah, I went and explored everything. I feel pretty good. Oh my god, they hit like a truck.
Yeah.
But by this point, we've leveled up enough. We got some good equipment on us. We should be fine. So. But yeah, over here we got a few items we can get. Plasma orb, I go back and forth on. What do you think of it, Smith?
Love it.
You love it? Okay. I just hate that it kind of takes away, like... Well, I mean, it takes... So...
No, you're good.
Yeah, so Plasma Orb, it takes away your aura in order to do more damaging and larger scale attack. So that's both good and bad. If you got a spell that you want to use while you have Plasma Orb, you're kind of going to be double dipping and running out of aura pretty quickly.
Oh, no, it's a Jin Inferno. And it's Succubus Hairpin.
Yeah, I actually just found my Jin Inferno right in the same area, so that's kind of fun. Jin Inferno is really good.
It's the best spell in the game.
Really?
It does the most amount of damage.
Well, that makes sense, yeah.
I mean, if they're weak to it, it's dealing about 500 damage a shot. And if they're not weak to it, it's probably dealing about 200.
Yeah. Now, here's another thing that I could get out of logic. It's these guys dropping balls down this corridor and everything like that. You can find ways to ascend that, but the game really doesn't intend for you to do that. That's some high level strats. Because you could like Celestial Sash right up the center of it. You could use Light Wall, just very carefully maneuver your way up there. But it is very difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and skip that for now. Just because. Also, you might see that I'm taking more time to explain what's going on and stuff like that. I'm already in my end game area, so I'm just kind of giving Smith time to get more of his stuff, and yeah. Speaking of which, how's your journey through the past going?
Good, I found my spindle. I got 3 of my 5 MacGuffins.
There we go. Yeah, we're both at 3 out of 5, so...
I have one more check to do here in the towers, and then I can leave and go do other things.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I can also say this right now, and it'll be more prevalent at GDQ, but if you really want to play this, I'd highly suggest going and checking out Archipelago. They are a really good service. Ooh! Oh, there we go. There's a pop-off. All right, and I just got Empire Orb, so we're both feeling pretty good. But yeah, I would suggest that you go to archipelago.com and yeah, check out the games they have there. Who knows? Maybe you have a Sonic Adventure 2 game on your PC, and you're like, man, I would really like to play this in a multi-world sense. Then go ahead. they also have a Discord where they are constantly planning multi-worlds. So there's always people who are looking to play. So yeah, you can just pop in and be like, hey, I got this VVV multi-world. Do you mind if I play with you guys? Sure. You're probably going to be in BK mode for forever, but yeah, you can play.
No,
So.
V6 is a pretty okay game. It's like one of the shorter games, I think, but it can be longer based on your skill. And
Right.
That's like with any randomizer, like it gets faster the better you get, but V6 more so is just the better you are.
Yeah. And I think the other thing with randomizers, and I think a lot of people have said this in various videos and forums and stuff like that, is it kind of breathes new life into the games you like. That's what I found with the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer and everything like that. And now with this multi-world, I'm really enjoying playing like KH2 multi-world and stuff like that. Not to take away from Timespinner, but I also love doing Timespinner. Oh, there's my favorite orb. Let's go. We got Eye Orb.
Oh, okay. Good, good.
Do I have... Oh, I can't do my favorite setup, which is Pyro Ring, Eye Orb. It's just such a good setup. Oh my god, stop dropping trash on me. But yeah, so highly suggest you check out the Archipelago. I'm pretty sure it's just archipelago.com or just Google Archipelago.
Archipelago.gg.
.gg.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a
or just Google search
wonderful time. And the great thing about it too is, like I said, I'm running this on the actual game that I got from Steam, so it works with whatever you got. So it's pretty wonderful, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, heck, me and Smith play with guys most nights, I would say, and just have a wonderful time playing through these games. And yeah, it's a lovely time. So highly recommend. But yeah, so my game is now becoming a horror game. Because those little creepy crawlers, the first time I played, scared the crap out of me. I did not expect it to take this turn. I can jump that, right? Yeah. Yeah, those... Oh, man. That was a bad jump.
Also, another like good thing about this game is the music.
Ooh,
the music in this game is probably one of my favorite soundtracks I've actually heard of in a game in quite a while. Like, and again, Metroidvania style games are my favorite types of games. Timespinner is no exception to the rule.
Yeah.
It's a great game. The person who created it is amazing. They did a good job. The story's great. Gameplay's great.
I keep falling down this pit because I'm still rocking light wall.
They understand some of the nuances that come with Metroidvanias, which, you know, you can make a good one or you can make a bad one. There's not as many bad ones, really, except for La Milana, which is a terrible game.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of Axiom Verge. I think it was fine, but like, yeah. Yeah, but I think you're right. Also, speaking of great Metroidvanias that are coming to Archipelago, The Messenger, really awesome game, finally coming to Archipelago. I think the other cool thing about this is it's just people come into the game or come into Archipelago and is like, I want to make this game a multi-world, and they do. Like, people develop this themselves. Yeah, we personally know the guy that is developing KH multi-world for this. Yeah, it's just a lovely time, and Archipelago.
That's my Timespinner Gear 3. I just need my wheel and I'm done.
There we go.
So yeah, this is actually one of the faster seas, I guess, even with my walking around.
Yeah.
Which is still dreadful.
Yeah. Yeah, you can turn that on. Like, we'll probably make it so that you can turn it on.
I mean, I actually kind of like it off, though. It feels nice, like, walking around again.
Yeah.
Makes me remember what I'm doing.
Adds some I was gonna say levity, but probably not levity. Adds more weight to whatever decision you're gonna make in the game.
Brevity, it gives me more breathing.
Brevity. There we go. So
where are you, Jen? There you are.
the scientist became a giant bird skeleton named Zarian. He's normally one of the tougher bosses in the game, but yeah, if you got Light Wall and surprisingly Ice Orb apparently does a lot of damage to him. I've never used.
Technically a Chauvir, so yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, so I didn't realize that was the lore behind him, was that he was a chauffeur.
I think he's like a decrepit like version of one of them. I don't know exactly the lore behind a lot of the bosses. This game does have a lot of lore to it.
Oh yeah. It's
And
insane.
I would say like maybe the entire length of time for this game is about like 3 hours, three and a half, 4 hours.
3 hours if you're going for completionist sake. Probably 5 hours with all the backtracking.
Yeah.
At max. It's not a very long game. Because I think the first time we brought it up in our group, I was like, "Yeah, go play the game and then play the randomizer." And everybody's like, "Yeah." They bought the game and then the next day they're like, "Yeah, I beat the game. Let's play the randomizer." So, yeah, it's not that long of a game. It's a very fun game.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I've worked my way up to where my end game is, like where I need to stick the Timespinner pieces. So I'm just kind of going back, getting a few extra checks that I may have missed or were not able to get. I'm very happy that the gross eyeball floating in the air became the cat. So that means my end game is not going to be stopped in its tracks by a mechanical cat.
Wouldn't be stopped, it'd just be slowed to a molasses hole.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we're gonna go check out a few more places here.
I love the Celestial Sash, just being able to go up infinitely is so nice.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm not going to the final towers. Just because having Celestial Sash, especially on the right side, you can shoot straight up to where all the checks are, and it's wonderful. And yeah.
And that's my Timespinner wheel.
There you go.
I'm going to finish up my down here, though, just for you.
Okay.
Now we can kind of show off some of the other things that Archipelago can do.
Mm-hmm.
So with this game, it has a built-in client, which is kind of how this game operates, is there's a client that controls a lot of the injecting and text-based stuff you can do. There is an option for hinting, which is a really cool thing to do. Let's say you've been playing your game for a bit and you're now stuck, you have nothing left to do, you need an important item. Well, you can hint for the location of that item and it'll tell you where it is in another player's world.
Yeah, I'll go
will
ahead
they
and
be able to
this
get
off.
it immediately? I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, comics can show it off.
Yeah, I'll show this off. So here's the client. It's showing pretty much everything that we've gotten so far. It's just a button press. I think it's what is it? Yeah, the one beside one. Yeah. I don't know what it is. But yeah, you can do a bunch of different exclamation points to show what you've gotten, where things are. But if you do exclamation point hint and you put in an item that you need. So for example, I need my Timespinner wheel. It says it's in Temporal Gyre, Chest 1 in Smithsworld. So he would need to go do Gyre to get that. Or one other thing that Archipelago does is it allows you to, when you're done with your game, it releases all the items that you have for someone else out to them. So if any of my end game stuff is in his game, he has the option of either go and get it, or I'm just gonna beat my game and just send it to you. Okay. And then the other cool thing about this game is not only can you release everything that was in your game to the other players, but you can also collect. So it opens up the chests in my game that would have stuff for Smith, and it would just be empty, and it also wouldn't show on the map. It would be like, oh, you don't need to do this room because Smith already got his item from there. So it's really cool about that, and Archipelago is really helpful in that regard of just making it so that the games can play more smoothly if you don't have the items you need, or if you don't want to.
I ain't getting that.
Where's it at?
It is the Emperor's Tower, bottom right tower.
Oh, okay.
I'm not actually going there. I'm just going to go get you your thing, and then we can both go to the end of the game together.
Also, let me hint. I guess right now. Let me hint my Timespinner Gear 2. Lab coffee break. So that's on the way.
If I wanted to get my Teleria attachment, it's on the way.
Okay.
Because I was just going to get the... you know, I can actually go through the lab. Have you gone through the lab yet on your end?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've gone through the
Yeah,
lab.
go through the lab.
Got
Get
my
you those items. Might as well. I mean, we're only an hour in.
Yeah.
Gives you more time to play.
Yeah, which we can talk about that. These games normally don't take too long. I think up front we kind of were talking with each other. Probably take hour and a half at max. Just with what we've got.
Max. I would say hour and 45 max, just to be safe.
Yeah,
2 hours almost.
If we had, I think if you had Teleria attachment, I think it'd be quicker.
Yeah, which means if I turn it on, then I turn it on, which should be fine.
So, but yeah, so it's not that quick. It's not that long of a game, and just makes it easier. Ooh, blood orb, nice. Blood orb.
Oral Gyre.
Yeah, blood orb is very good for the late game, because there's a lot of enemies in the ancient pyramid that are surprisingly weak to blood orb, for some reason. So, bird statue is kind of like, pendulum, where it prevents something. So pendulum prevents poison. Try saying that 5 times fast. Pendulum prevents poison. But the bird statue prevents chaos. So that thing where it prevented me from doing my time stop and everything like that, yeah, that wouldn't happen with... Yeah, wouldn't happen with the bird statue. I'm going to go over here, get a few more items. Smith should be getting me my last few items. And then, yeah, we should be pretty close to completing the game.
I'm just about done in the temporal gyre. I'm in the last stretch of room.
Nice. Yeah, I'm probably not going to climb the towers. I'm just kind of getting some levels. Just seeing these early checks and seeing what seeing what's easy that I can get. Actually, you know what? I should also hit my Celestial Sash. Okay, yeah, you just go ahead and beat...
Everything's in my...
Yeah, you go ahead and beat your game. And I'll get all my stuff.
Are you already waiting by the door for the final boss, or...?
Technically, I'm going around and getting some little extra checks before the end of it.
Oh, Gunnar Plus. Yeah, no, if you wanted to... If you wanted to go ahead and just wait by your door, I can just finish the game for release, and then you can...
Yeah, we can show that off for for all this.
I just don't have my Celestial Sash, which is fine. I don't need it. It's not a... Or not my Celestial Sash, my Teleria attachment. I don't need it. Just would have made going through the pyramid that much faster.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm going to get this item right before Zarian Caves and everything like that. Metal wristband. Don't need it. All right, so... I really don't want to wait there, just because...
No, you're good. You're good. I'll tell you when I'm about to go and beat my game.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep getting some little extra checks, just so that maximum content can be had.
Understandable.
And also, when you collect, you're not going to collect a ton from me. So. Okay. Scythe Ring. Nice. Scythe Ring is pretty good early on just because it adds a little extra damage, but as the game goes on, it's kind of irrelevant. Oh, it says I can climb it? Oh.
You have light wall, right?
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, that's rough. Doing it with just light wall.
Oh, is it the way up in the world in the tower?
Yeah, it's where the guys dropping rocks down on you. Well,
Oh,
power balls or whatever.
Yeah.
Trying to think what bosses I haven't seen.
I mean, if anything, your last two bosses are probably going to end up being Voltaris and... I'm going to guess Voltaris and... what's his name?
Cantorian?
No, it'll probably be Voltaris and like Queen Aelana or something.
Yeah, I haven't battled Queen. Huh. Yeah. Probably be two royals. Because yeah, I haven't battled the king. I haven't battled the other version of the king. I
You also
haven't.
haven't fought Sandman yet.
Yeah.
Alright, Nightmare, it's time to go.
Okay. So he's battling Nightmare, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my health back and everything like that. Well, and also it depends on what's the Timespinner boss options. Because we still have Phantom? No, Sandman. That's it. Sandman.
Oh, Jin and or Ifrit and Ravenman are also in the logic. But that is me. I can now release.
Cool. Yeah, so yeah, if you'll notice at the bottom, there's a lot. So I can fight Cantorian or I fight Sandman. I'm gonna fight Sandman. Because Sandman's pretty easy.
Oh, you're fighting those two bosses?
Those are my choices for going
you don't
to.
have to do those. You can just go with the Or did you not turn on going to the pyramid?
I didn't, just because I didn't want to. Well, and also it shows off two different ways of beating the game. So.
Right. Now I get to do the fun thing that they do in the speedruns, where it's just Lunide stuck on exclamation mark, and everyone just throws it into the chat.
Yeah. But yeah, something else we'll have the GDQ crowd do is just go insane whenever we get a new orb. Like it's self-written. Also, fun thing, since the bosses are randomized, Lunea's can freely move while time disintegrates around her. In the actual game, she is frozen while time is just disintegrating around her. And here she's like, I'm trapped in a room and everything is decaying. I have no idea what's going on. So, yeah. And there was Sandman, who we just fought. But yeah, welcome to the Ancient Pyramid. You probably already saw it on Smith's side. I can also show off. I was gonna see if any of these chests were already open, just to show you the collect feature. So, if Smith collected from a chest that I'm going to pass by, it would already be open, so I wouldn't need to open it, which is really cool. There are some games that aren't able to do that, and you just kind of have to get the checks, and then it's like, it said nothing, because there's nothing in that chest. They already have that item. So that's fun. Yeah. Also, fun thing, while you're going down here, you can just jump over these zeals as you're going down. Yeah. I'm just damaging boosting through here just so we can get done with this faster. You can use blood orbs to kill them for some reason. Like here, that chest is already open because Smith collected. All right, so we got the queen. So there's one of your choices.
Ooh. But yeah, everything in the ancient pyramid is basically weak to chaos damage.
Yeah. So, yep. Ooh, she is really weak to Empire Orb. So
Yep.
let's
dark damage.
Yeah, let's go ahead and use that. 'Cause look at those numbers. That's some big old numbers. We're also probably about to die. Nope. There we go. All right. So the good thing is, I have a setting on where you will get a, you will get your health back every time you kill a boss. So, don't have to worry about that going into this fight against our dad at the very top of the tower that I refuse to climb. So.
Oh, so it's present day dad.
Yeah, present day dad. We already beat Back in Time dad, which creates a time paradox where, hey, if we kill our dad in the past, how are we born? And so that's why time breaks. And yet in Back to the Future, they never explain how Biff got back to the future from going back and giving himself the almanac, because if he already did that, it would already be a bad future. So how does that work? Answer me that, Zemeckis.
I don't know. I think I've only watched one of the movies one time.
I literally gave a class in college because they were talking about time travel and narratives. And so I taught a class one day about multiverse theory in Back to the Future. Because it literally is multiverse theory from the very beginning. Yeah. So our dad's not weak to a lot. He's weak to Plasma Orb, which I could throw on, but Empire Orb is doing pretty good damage. So we're just gonna keep doing some nice crunchy damage to him. I could also throw up some light walls, but he's just going to teleport immediately after, so not really all that worth it. Should be finishing up here soon because he's throwing out his chaos snakes. I started with that spell and I forget what it is.
Or a serpent?
Or a serpent, thank you. Alright. Like I said, he should be finishing up here soon. But yeah, he has his health and damage replaced with Nightmare, so Nightmare's got a lot of health.
Probably around 4,000-ish.
Yeah, so we're just doing some good damage to him. And there we go. We finished up. I can stop my timer now at some point. Yeah. But yeah, here is where we would decide, okay, let's collect the remaining checks from their games and release out to the other games that are playing. Well, we're both done, so that's wonderful. Yeah, so this is our submission to GDQ.
And my game crashed again. Good thing we're
Good
done.
note to end on. Yeah, so I hope you guys like it. We look forward to hearing about your submission. Yeah, whenever I upload this, in the description will be Smith's side of the game. I'll be uploading my playthrough of my own stuff as well in the actual video link. So yeah, hopefully everything's all good there. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.